Organized crime is a little unorganized. It's late night.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Welcome to the show. We got a great show tonight, and I mean it. Some nights I'll say it, and I'm not sure. It could develop. Potentially, it's a great show, but it could develop into a great show. But tonight, the potential is here, and I'm positive it will be fulfilled. You folks, if you could see only one show while you're in town tonight, this is the show to see, ladies and gentlemen. I say that for two reasons. One, first of all, because it's true, and secondly, it's a really good way to get a lot of cheap applause. And I think that's, thank you. I think that's what show business is all about. Now, boy, have you seen the unusual folks in town, Paul? We got another one of those odd conventions in the city.
No, David, I haven't seen.
It's, Bill, you've seen them with the name tags and stuff? It's the, let's see, it's the annual meeting of the American Society of People Who Spit When They Talk. My gosh.
That's why it's been so refreshing out in the street.
Paul Schaefer, ladies and gentlemen, our popular band leader.
Thank you very much. Oh, you don't have to do that. Thank you.
Tonight on this program, this man's last week, and like a cable show, for example. If this were cable, and you read that Huey Lewis was going to be on the show, of course what you would see would be a video of Huey Lewis. No, not tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Huey is right here performing with our own band, isn't that right?
Yeah, not only that, but he has a very fine orchestra of his own. He's usually, of course, known as Huey Lewis in the news, but he's kind of a move on his part. And I mean that. No, he's not playing. He's playing with our little band here, and I think that's real cute for the guy with the #2 record in the country and #1.
See, now, this is Paul demonstrating another difference between this show and a cable show.
No censorship, you mean?
I don't know. I think that'll probably come out. Hal, will that come out?
We don't know. We're going to check with Jane. Hold on.
Okay, we're checking. Should I wait for this or go on, Hal?
Just go on. We'll interrupt.
Okay. All right. Also,
last night, a DJ saved my life.
What happened?
No, it's not really true. It's just the name of a record that I heard on the radio. I thought it was a really stupid title, and so
let me take a second here to ask you how your lovely lady is.
My lovely lady is fine, and how is your very fabulous
she's lovely.
lady?
She's a lovely, caring, sensitive, wonderful lady.
But you know, I have heard. Word is out, David. Word is out that you are becoming seduced by that hot lady New York.
Well, it's happening. It surely is happening, Paul.
Yeah.
Tonight, we're going to take a minute here and show you what you could see if you had the energy to get out of bed and change your channel. We have a monitor here. This is going to show us actual shows operating on the air, actually here in New York City. Let's go to the first one here tonight, and you'll get a chance to see what our competition here is in the city. Let's just take a look at the first channel. There it is right here. This is ESPN, the sports network. And tonight the USFL playoffs begin. This is live coverage.
And that's Butch Woodward, the sensational 6-year-old quarterback of the Maulers, running that kick all the way back to the 35-yard line.
Okay, now next, what do we have next? Oh, yes, this is Channel 6. This is a Webster rerun. Emmanuel Lewis has to be consoled when the kids at school call him Shorty. Okay, coming up here any minute, we have Channel 11. This is a syndicated show In Search Of. Leonard Nimoy hosting. He investigates the mysterious power of kitchen appliances.
Party snacks stay fresh without wraps for days. Fruits and salads stay crisp and fresh, some for a week or more.
Okay, now let's go on to our next channel. This is Channel 8, Foul-Ups, Bleeps, and Blunders. Steve Lawrence shows what happened during the filming of a Merrill Lynch commercial on Wall Street. And I got out of hand. Now, this is cable channel J. Gee, I'm not sure what this is. It just says video dating.
With an ordinary pair of kitchen scissors. Dip the scissors in water occasionally to keep them from
Did we miss something here on this one? Kind of spoiled the fun for all of us, didn't it? All right. Let's go on now. This ought to be, I believe, ABC. Yeah, this is 2020. Tonight, Geraldo Rivera reports on the new cults that worship public utilities.
Many of you are without telephone service, but fortunately, the long-distance service is now in operation. The telephone company wants us to know that their business office, which is usually closed on Sunday, will be kept open all day today.
It's a cult that worships public utilities, like the phone company. Well, let's go on now to Channel 2. This is the CBS movie special. It's titled The Over the Hill Guys. Tonight, it's the story of two aging male strippers who try to come to grips with their fading popularity.
Why don't they look, Ralph? Tell me. Why don't they look?
Now we have one more. This is Channel 13. This is a Joni Loves Chachi rerun. Tonight, Joni learns a valuable lesson when she and her friends go to the zoo drunk. Now, let me, Hal, did you find out about whether the Paul will be deleted audio-wise tonight or not?
Just check, Dave. It looks like it's coming out. Take 3.
Is this prime time
Well,
or
it's got to
something?
come out. Yeah, it's got to come out.
Be a very hip.
I had nothing to do with it. It's Hal and the folks in the booth there had to do it.
No, this is from the back deck, Dave.
Oh, and who? Let's have the name of the person responsible, Hal.
Jane?
Yeah?
Oh, we have.
You don't have a last name, huh?
No, it's just Jane.
Okay, well, we'll run this through the computer and see if we can't cough up a... We'll get an ID on her and then an MO, and we'll take her downtown and rough her up. But we got a good show. We don't need to. We want to do this. We want to congratulate WJAR-TV. Do you know where that is, Paul? WJAR-TV?
No idea, sir.
That's right. It's in Rhode Island, ma'am. It's in Providence, Rhode Island. They are celebrating their 35th anniversary with NBC today. 35 years of telecasting fine programs like this one. Congratulations. You know the official nickname of the state of Rhode Island, Paul?
No, sir, I do not.
The Ocean State.
Well?
Familiar nickname is Little Rhodey. Rhode Island is a little more than 1/2 the size of the second smallest state, Delaware. It has a one-word state motto. Now, okay. My first guest tonight is lead singer with Huey Lewis and the News, whose album, I have a copy of it right here. It's called Sports. This was the best-selling album in the country last week. We're really delighted to have him with us tonight. Please welcome Huey Lewis. Really nice to have you here, and congratulations on all your success. Introduce, you brought one member of the News here, right?
Johnny Kohler, our sax player.
Johnny, you sound great. Thank you for being here. Now, what about the other gentlemen in the band? Are they miffed that they're not making this appearance?
Absolutely, and we were told you couldn't afford us.
Boy, that's the truth. We're... That's no lie.
Yeah, we're from Marin County.
Yeah.
So we had to have a band meeting. And all get together, you know, and sort of talk it over, make sure it was okay. But it's okay, only because it's Paul Schaefer and the boys.
Oh, good. Well, we appreciate it. Thank you very much. Now, how does this feel? All of a sudden, you got the #1 selling album in America. You've been at it a long time, I know. And this is it everything you hoped it would be?
Well, next week we're going to go to #2, which is fortunate, I think, because 1 was a little scary.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's the air's thin up there, a lot of pressure, and it's better to be back in 2.
Huey, tell me about this great-looking bar on the cover. Is this an actual bar or a painting or both?
Yeah, both. It's actually the 2 a.m. Club in Mill Valley.
2 a.m.
That's right, and the T-shirts are for sale. You can write to Goose at the 2 a.m. Club. And
Is this Goose on the album there?
no, that's Mario, our bass player.
Oh, okay. Now,
He looks kind of like a goose.
is
so
Goose miffed that he's not in the picture?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, as long as everybody's happy. And you actually go to that bar and hang around?
That's right. And needless to say, the drinks are a lot cheaper now.
Well, I would hope so. Now, for folks who have been watching television a lot tonight, this will be your second appearance. They will have seen you twice. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, well, you mean we're going to do the national... We did the national anthem tonight.
That's right.
How was it?
It's it was another one of those all-star cliffhangers. But now the whole group sings the national anthem?
That's right. And Johnny actually did the arrangement. It's a kind of a part Navy band, part doo-wop.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And why do you do that? Other than, is it a lot of fun? It seems like it's more nervous than anything.
It's very nervous, but it's a free ticket.
Yeah.
And, you know, when can you sit on the field?
Have you done other ball games?
Yeah, we've done lots. We were originally asked to do the Oakland A's, I think, isn't it? Yeah, the Oakland A's. And then we did the Warriors and the 49ers and the Giants and now the St. Louis Cardinals and now the All-Star Games.
Yeah.
So
this is a whole separate career for you.
Absolutely.
But people, and I don't know anything about the singing the national anthem in front of large groups of people, but people say that's probably one of the toughest things you can attempt.
It is. It is, especially when you're looking at, you know, the All-Star team is 5 seconds away and they announce everybody on the field and they line up first and third base and they go, and now, would you please stand? It gets very quiet. One microphone, amazing slapback, like a second delay that you have to pretend doesn't exist.
This is your echo coming back
Yeah,
at you?
you have to pretend that doesn't exist. So it's hard.
Yeah. And does it bother you that the ball players are, you know, what ball players do? You know, chewing and this and...
Playing with themselves and
that kind of thing? It's kind of a distraction there. What did you do before music in your days as a kid?
I just fooled around, actually. I tried to avoid work as best I could. I had millions of odd jobs, and each of which lasted about 5 minutes.
What kind of stuff? Anything you want to remember?
Well, I was an encyclopedia salesman for a good day. I was I chauffeured for another day. I had a landscape company. We weeded. We had an old truck. That sort of stuff. Yeah. Steve's been there.
Uh-huh. And you traveled around?
That's right, yeah.
Where'd you go?
I was hitchhiked in Europe for about a year. I took the harmonica because it's...
How old were you when you went to Europe?
I was 16.
And you hitchhiked to New York from...
That's right. I hitchhiked to New York from San Francisco, and I actually stowed away on a plane. In those days, you could take a boarding pass and write seat number, destination on the outside, go into the boarding area early, and sneak on, and you write, of course, the middle seat over the wing, and then take a different seat. Yeah. So that if someone says, I'm sorry, this is my seat, oh, well, mine's actually up there, and then you move down. And I actually stowed away for free on a plane ticket.
No kidding?
Yeah.
No problem? No questioning?
No problem. I hitchhiked across the country, and by the time I got there, I aimed on paying for a ticket, of course.
Sure. The experienced traveler does that. The experienced will say, I'll buy a ticket. So you get to the airport and you got no dough.
And I had no money, and I'd spent the money on the trip across the country. So I hung out there, and I befriended a ticket agent.
How long were you at the airport?
3 days.
You just lived at the airport for 3 days?
I lived at the airport for 3 days. United Airlines.
Oh, my.
Kennedy.
And now, can this still be done, this forging of tickets?
I don't think so, because they do a stamp thing now, and I don't recommend it anyway.
Yeah. Now, so you get to Europe, and you hitchhiked around Europe.
I learned how to hitchhike, which is completely different in Europe.
How so?
Well, here you just sort of stick your thumb out and wait. There you signal, you know, and like this sort of stuff, and whistle and yell, disrobe, anything. I mean, they really go.
Was it easier to get rides in Europe?
Much harder.
Really?
But it was good for my harmonica playing.
Yeah. Now, did you make any money while you were in Europe, or did you have to stow away coming back?
No, I made enough money to come back. I actually did make money in Europe, strange enough, just playing on street corners and bus stops and that sort of stuff.
Geez, that was a great life for a kid, boy. 16, 17, you can't beat it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it sounds good to me now.
You should try it.
I may be trying it. Anyway, geez, it's a real pleasure to meet you, and good luck out there. They're playing it at Candlestick.
That's right.
Yeah, now that's, people say that's not a great place to see a ball game, don't they?
They played it at Candlestick.
Oh, that's right. They've already played it at Candlestick.
Yeah, it's actually a great place to see a ball game.
Yeah.
But at night, oftentimes, it gets very cold. But in the daytime, and this game started at 5, and we know the weather was, well, we know how it was.
Anyway, give my best to the rest of the news. And you couldn't sound better tonight. You're really terrific.
Thanks very much.
And congratulations on all your success. You certainly deserve it. Yep. The other 31 communities are towns. It only has 8 cities. Block Island recently almost seceded from the state over a moped dispute. That's apparently true. It's right there on the Fun Facts of Rhode Island sheet. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's time once again for a segment of the program we like to call Dave's Video Funhouse. Some people up there actually applauding. Folks are starved for entertainment. Here we have our first brain teaser. It's called The Search for Spock. Can you find the Leonard Nimoys in this field of Lily Tomlins? I didn't even understand that one. Number 2, match the periodical with their proudest journalistic achievement. First, the Washington Post, the National Review, Us Magazine. Uncovering the Watergate scandal, these would be the journalistic achievements. Special issue on the impact of Vietnam, rating the celebrity superbodies. What? Oh, I know. I'm just sick about it, too. Now, this one, ladies and gentlemen, is an optical illusion. Which is longer? The line at the box office for Ghostbusters or the line at the box office for Rhinestone? All right, now, this is a trick question. Both lines are the same length, but the people in line for Rhinestone are asking for refunds. If this goes downhill, I still have plenty more fun facts on Rhode Island. All right, number 4, Dave's Video Funhouse. Which takes the longest? A Class B star to go nova. B, a giant redwood to reach full height. C, the closing credits of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. I think you have to help us here, Paul. What is wrong with this picture of the New York City skyline? All right. Take your time, contestants. May I have your cards, please? Okay, what is wrong with the skyline of New York? See? The Brown Eaglestein building belongs in San Francisco. I don't think this was even meant for our show. I think gorillas came in here and forced us to do that one. All right, number 6. If Liza Minnelli receives rave reviews from 85% of New York's 34 theater critics, what does she have? And the answer, the eerie power to cloud men's minds. Providence is the nation's leading jewelry manufacturing center and one of the entire world's leading suppliers of costume jewelry. All right, now back to the funhouse. Which of the following are not marsupials? A, an opossum mother and its young. B, a kangaroo mother and its offspring. C, Michael Jackson and Emmanuel Lewis. I think that's 2 Emmanuel Lewis jokes, and the rest of the game is being played under protest. All right. Finally, which number is the smallest here? A, the number of states in the United States in 1812. B, the number of revolutions the Earth makes in a month. C, the number of English-speaking cab drivers in New York. That's the man called over 80,000 races. Please welcome the legendary Fred Capicella.
Hi, Fred. How are you? Nice to see you. Watch your step coming up here, Fred. Come on over here and sit down.
Nice to see you. You look terrific, and thank you very much for being here.
Dave, thank you very much.
And the folks know you and love you. What does that mean, the voice of thoroughbred racing? What does that job entail?
Well, you have to keep the public posted on what's going on during the running of the races.
Uh-huh.
They want to know exactly the overweights in the race, jockey changes, scratches, anything that might help them to make a selection in the next race as a winner.
Uh-huh. So all of this in addition to calling the race.
Well, that's the most important part of the job. But you have to keep the public posted on what's going on.
Yeah, now this sounds like a long day. How many races usually in a day?
9.
Yeah, and you come in very early and stay way after things have
well,
stopped,
yeah,
huh?
sure, but you have a backup man, and you usually do about 8 races and then let him take over.
Yeah.
Sure.
You in your years as announcing races, you made some phrases very famous. Tell us probably the phrase that you're most famous for.
It is now post time.
Now, what exactly does that mean? Now, I know it means that the race is going to start, but there are other things that announcement triggers, right?
That's true. That designates that there'll be no more betting in that particular race.
Uh-huh.
They close the machines, and that's the end. They go into the gate, and you can't make a bet until the horses break out of the gate for the next race.
Yeah. You were the first one to use this line. And,
more or less, yeah.
Now, and people don't use it anymore, do they?
Well, I guess out of respect, I don't know.
Yeah. So that's that's a nice honor for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And what is the other one? After that, it's what else do you say?
Oh, probably they're off.
Wait a minute. You're the first one to say they're off?
Oh, no.
Yeah. Now, but the other one, the horses?
Well, you can say the horses are on the track.
The horses are on the track.
Yeah, but that's about it. Sure.
Yeah. Okay. But people recognize your voice still?
Most of them do, sure. If you're into a bar having a drink or something, and you walk behind 8 or 10 fellas and you say, "It is now post time," you say, "That's Freddie Capicella."
Do you do that? Do you walk into bars and say that?
No. I say, that would happen.
That's great. That's terrific.
Sure.
Did you, and now there's a famous story about a track announcer who, not too long ago, I think miscalled a race. Did you ever have any problems like that in your years of doing it?
No, I've been very fortunate. Nothing, any serious things, but slip of tongue or something like that. I had a horse called Aching Feet in the running of the race, and I kept memorizing the aching feet with the colors and the green and blue, whatever it was. And during the running of the race, I kept calling the horse Aching Back.
Yeah.
You know, but
no
that's
big
a
deal.
slip of the tongue.
Out of 80,000 races, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a lot of races.
Do you know what I'm talking about, Fred? There, a guy, very famous race. It might have been even the Derby.
That's true. We try to forget those things.
Oh, sure.
Unfortunately, that could happen to anybody.
Yeah.
That could happen.
You know the old phrase, you can't lateral a racehorse?
That's true.
Yeah.
But you see, you see what you're doing. You're looking at objects a half a mile away with these little glasses, and you're trying, and there are 12 or 14 horses, and you're trying to keep each one in position so you can call them accurately for the public that's betting on those horses.
Yeah.
And you slip up because you're trying to memorize the colors, and it may be very similar colors in a race.
Right.
A cap will throw you, you know, and they're coming down the stretch 40 miles an hour, brother, and those positions are changing.
Yeah. Now, how do you do that? How, with 6, 8, 10 horses in every race, I guess, and how do you keep the names straight? How do you memorize it?
14. Belmont Park, when we had the Widener Shoot race, we used to call 28 horses in a race.
Oh, my. Now, how do you commit the names to memory?
Well, we have to study the colors as they come out on the track. Now, I'll give you a brief how we run it down.
Okay.
when the bugle blows and the horses come out on the track, the first thing we look at is the first horse that steps on the track, and we'll say, Dave Letterman in the red and blue, and we keep repeating that. Red and blue, Dave Letterman. Letterman, red and blue. Then we go to the next one, that's Paul Schaefer, green and white. Paul Schaefer is the green and white, the red and blue is Letterman. Now we keep repeating. Next one is Lewis, comes out with orange. Bill Wendell is in purple. Bill Wendell in purple, Lewis in orange, Schaefer in the green and white, and Letterman in the blue and white. And we keep going through the field that way.
Yeah.
So that when we get ready to get into the post, to the gate, we know definitely every horse in the race, frontwards and backwards.
But
So
that's an
we just
amazing thing
memorize the colors
but
and
if
associate it with the horse's name.
But if you're talking about even 10 horses in a race, this seems to be an impossible task to me. I mean,
It may sound like that, but, you know, when you enjoy the work and you do it every day, it comes naturally.
now, are you gonna do a little of it for us,
Well,
Fred?
I was going to show you exactly what goes on.
Okay, what do we need to do? We have a little...
No, I just wanted to be sure that I can put my glasses here on.
Oh, okay. We actually have a little race footage on the monitor.
Yeah, but you see, I keep repeating them as I go to the post.
Yeah. All right, start the whole thing from the very beginning.
The Letterman in the red and blue. Letterman in the red and blue. Now I see Bud with Melvin in white. Bud Melvin and Bill Lou. And that's Bill Wendell in purple. I keep repeating them back and forth so that when they get into the starting gate, you know. Now they're all in the gate. They're all lined up. We should get a break any minute. They're standing and they're off. And that's Letterman going to the front. On the outside, it's Schaefer second, Lewis is third. Wendell fourth, Willie fifth, and Melman is sixth. They go around the far turn that way, the same way, and it's now Letterman in front by 3 lengths. They're coming into the stretch with Schaefer still second and whipping and driving. Lewis is third, Bill Wendell fourth, Willie fifth, and Bud Melman is sixth. As they go over the finish line, it's Dave Letterman, the winner by 3 lengths. Paul Schaefer second, Louis Lewis third, Wendell fourth, Lee fifth, and Bud Melman is sixth.
Very nice. Very nice, Fred. Fred, you sound terrific. You did a wonderful job, and I really appreciate you being here. You're a classic. One of a kind.
I appreciate it very much.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Fred Capasone with us many times before on this program, and he will be appearing in his home alley. Jimmy.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, we all know in a few more weeks the Olympics will be starting, the Summer Olympics, and a few of the countries won't be coming, but that doesn't really bother me. You know, the first country to boycott the games over a year ago was Iran. Now, when I heard this, I said, hey, why even have the games if Iran's not showing up? You know, and a lot of athletes were upset about this because the Iranian athletes were so easy to beat in a race. I mean, let's say you're going for the gold. The guy next to you is wearing bed sheets. You got a pretty good chance of winning. I think... I like the summer games. I wasn't really into the Winter Olympics because I cannot relate to any of those snowy events. You know, skiing, I don't really ski. Any skiers? Anybody ski? Yeah, a lot of people. See, I do not understand skiers. I mean, why would anyone ski after watching the beginning of Wide World of Sports? I mean, why? And how can Americans be good at some of these winter sports like luge? How can Americans be good at luge? Did anyone in high school take intramural luge? But we're very health conscious, though. Americans now are very health conscious. Doctors are telling us you got to have a lot of fiber in your diet. Very important, fiber. I went out and bought this breakfast cereal, 100% natural fiber. Opened it up, shag rug. It's not bad. Popcorn has fiber, though. That's great. Popcorn has fiber. I'm excited. I love going to the theater, ordering popcorn, and they always ask you that stupid question. You want some butter on that? I always say, no, don't put any butter on it. Just put that 10W40 oil on it. That'll be fine. Butter might make it taste good. That yellow grease will be real good, yeah. A lot of people jogging today. Any joggers? Anybody run? Yeah? Whoa. Doctors say that's good for you, too. Doctors say you run for over 30 minutes, you become very lightheaded and euphoric. Yeah. You know why? It's because you're so close to death. Have you ever seen anyone that's run for 30 minutes? They're kind of, it doesn't really look healthy to me. I'll tell you who looks good, a guy that just ate a large pizza. He's got a burp. I feel fine now, babe. I'm good. So, yeah. Junk food sounds more appetizing, though, doesn't it? Doesn't junk food sound like it'd be so much fun to eat things like Snickers bars and Twinkies and Ho-Hos? They sound so great. Yeah, have you ever eaten health food? They give it names like wheat germ. If they wanted me to try this stuff, they should have called it wheat ding-dongs or something. I might have tried that. Because there are certain foods I will not eat just because of the name. You know, like I can't order Chinese food anymore. I mean, I cannot order something called chicken, you know, it's just, you know, it's, I mean, would you eat something called mugu cow dung? I don't, and never will I order anything called some young guy. It's just, don't think so. People do eat strange food, though, don't they? Tongue. People eat tongue. You know tongue is actually cow's tongue? It never dawned on me that tongue would be tongue. I mean, you order a chocolate mousse, you don't get a big hairy thing with hot fudge. Because I could never eat tongue with a clear conscience, you know. I'd always be thinking of that poor little cow, you know, moo, 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 moo. You know, it's the worst food, though, I've ever heard anyone eat: calves' brains. Ugh. I mean, if I'm not eating tongue, you can count on it, I won't be eating calves' brains. You imagine the nightmare you'd have of that poor little calf roaming around? They'd be kind of doop-de-doop-de-doo. Well, moo-moo, yup. Might as well just take my tongue. I can't think of anything to say. It's kind of... Thank you very much.
Jimmy Alex.
Thank you.
Nice job.
Thank you, Dave.
Nice to see you again. How you been? What's going on? What have you been doing?
Well, I've been doing a new television show called Rockin' America that's out now, and I just returned. I do a lot of little celebrity things. You know, I was out at Tom Dreesen's run for multiple sclerosis last weekend. I think you probably were invited.
Yeah,
I know you're busy. You couldn't make it.
I don't know that I was invited. No, I don't take that for granted. I don't get invited a lot of places.
Well, it's kind of, I play in a lot of celebrity golf tournaments too, and it's sometimes it's kind of hard to deal with.
You get invited to celebrity golf tournaments?
Yeah.
Paul and I don't get to leave the city.
But here's what happens at some of these things. It's like I went to this Doug Sanders tournament in Houston, and Bob Hope, Willie Nelson, Sammy Davis, Clint Eastwood. You know, we're real celebrities.
These are heavyweights, big timers.
You know, and men will pay like $1,000 to play with a pro and a celebrity. So a guy comes up to me on the first tee, comes running up, one of my partners, goes, "Hey, man, my friend's playing with Bob Hope. Who's our celebrity?" And it was me. So I kind of, you know, it's...
takes the
I
fun
told him
out
my
of
name was Jimmy Hope, Bob's kid, and it helped somewhat.
You're going to be wearing...